Alright, so today we are going to begin law of sines. So the first half of this is law of sines, and on the back is going to be law of cosines. Now, we used trig to solve missing parts of right triangles. So when you have a right triangle, to solve for angles or sides, you can use SOHCAHTOA. Only if it is a 90-degree angle. We have to use law of sines and law of cosines if it is not, if it is not a 90-degree triangle. So this one, there's no 90-degree angle. Don't try to write one in. It's meant not to have one. So there's a formula to use law of sines if it is not a 90-degree triangle. Here is the formula. Sine of A, which is the angle. So that means you're taking sine of the angle and you're putting it over side A. Equals sine of angle B over side B equals sine of angle C over side C. Okay, so all these capital letters right here, these are all angles. These are all angles. Angle A, angle B, angle C. All of the lowercase letters, these are all sides. This is like setting up a ratio. If you just had sine of A over A equals sine of B over B, you would cross multiply. So cross multiplying and setting up ratios is coming back into play. Now the most important thing is that you keep these over the same side that it goes with. So this angle, angle A, or sine of A, always goes on top of the side that it is opposite of. So A, B, or C. You do not have to memorize this formula. I will give it to you. Yes.
Are they always going to be like A is going to be opposite of A?
Yes.
Or, okay.
So they asked if A is always going to be opposite of A. Yes, but it's not always going to be A, B, and C. It can be X, but it still goes across from side X. If it's angle Y, it always goes across of side Y.
Okay.
Alright, so how do we know when to use law of sines? First of all, the first thing you need to notice, if it is not a 90-degree triangle, so if it's not 90 degrees, then we know we either have to use law of sines or cosines. So the hardest part is going to be knowing the difference between law of sines and law of cosines. So if it's not a 90-degree triangle, then you look for one of these two things. It's either going to have two angles and any side. Two angles and any side, or two sides and the non-included angle. Non-included means if I have a triangle and I know this side and I know this side and I know the non-included, the angle that's not in between those two. Two angles in any side, that's talking about, remember how we did it like AAS or ASA? So if you know this triangle and you know this angle, and this side, then you know to use law of sines. If you know two angles in a row and then a side, or if you know an angle, then a side, then an angle. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and tell, I'm sorry, all of these 6, 8, however many, 8 down here are all law of sines. They are all law of sines, so we're going to use this formula over and over. Are y'all done with this?
Yes.
You all have a calculator? I'm out. I'm out. Alright, so now that we all have triangles, calculators, all of these are law of sines. So let's set them up together and then find the missing part. Alright, so this is the first thing we need to do. This angle right here is angle A. That is angle A. What is the side A? 30, good. Whatever's across from it. So if this is angle A, side A is a cross from it. If this is angle B, then this is side B, right? Which is what we're solving for. So I know there are 3 of these right here. There are 3 parts to our formula, but we're only going to use 2 at a time. Alright, so we know A, and we know part of B. Do we know anything about C? So we're not going to use it. Okay, so let's use our formula, the portion of A and B. Sine of A, which is 45 over 30, equals sine of B, which is 74 over X. So let's just cross multiply. Okay, cross multiply. So you get X sine of 45, X sine of 45 equals 30 times sine of 74. Well, what do I want to get by itself? X. So divide by sine of 45. This cancels out. Am I finding an angle or a side? I'm finding a side. So do I need to use inverse? No. All right, let's plug this in. 30 sine of 74 divided by sine of 45. Uh-oh, I didn't get that.
I got 29.
Yeah, I got 29.
I got that.
Okay.
Oh, we didn't put the parentheses behind the
I got 40.
Okay, make sure your calculator is in degrees right now. Make sure it's in degrees.
Oh yeah, it says DEG.
Okay. All right, let me try it again. 30 times.
We didn't put parentheses behind 74. Ours has
Yeah, you have to put parentheses. So close the parentheses. 30 sine. So if you got, what was it, 29? If you got 20-something, put the parentheses right here, and then divide by sine of 45. Close your parentheses, and you'll get 40.78. But we're supposed to round to the nearest tenth, so your answer is 40.8. I'm sorry? 40.8. All right, let's go to number 2. Degrees. No, side. Fine. All right, number 2. I know angle C, so across from that is side C. I don't know angle A, but I do know side A. So in my law of sines formula, I'm just not using B. So it's just I'm only using 2 at a time. So in this case, I'm using A and C. So let's do sine of x, because that's what A is. Sine of x over 28. Sine of 58 over 24. Very good. Cross multiply 24 sine of x equals 28 sine of 58. Okay, this is where you have to be careful because I'm finding an angle, so I have to take the inverse, right? But let's go ahead and divide over 24. Go ahead and divide over 24. So I will have sine of x is equal, and plug that in your calculator, 28 sine 58 divided by 24.
Did you get 0.9?
Okay, so that's what I got. Now, you can write this down. So I'm going to show y'all a trick. You can write this down, so 0.98938. That's as far as I would go. But that's my answer, and now I just need to take the inverse of it. So there's a way on your calculator where you can press second, and I'm using sine, so press second sine, and you'll have sine inverse. And then, no, don't press equal yet. You don't even have to type it in. There should be a key down here, and it says answer somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so you press second inverse, or second sine to get inverse. Now press second, and then press answer.
You have to close the parentheses?
You do. Just to be safe, close the parentheses.
So
what this does, hold on, what this does
I got 81.
is your calculator takes this whole number and plugs it in right here, so you don't even have to plug it in again. And when I press equals, it gets 81.6.
No, you don't have to close the parentheses.
Okay. So x,
I got an error.
okay, x is equal to 81.6 degrees.
God, come on,
Okay, I
man.
found it. Okay, it's right here.
Who else got an error?
Me.
Okay, so you should have 28 sine 58 divided by 24.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, I got it.
Press second sine, second sine, and then second answer. Second answer. Okay, hey, look, that's how it should work. If it's not working, then press second sine and just type the first couple digits in. So 0.989389, and you'll get the same thing.
Isn't that a graphic calculator?
Okay? So if the second answer is not working for you, just do second sine inverse and plug in those numbers. Let's move on. Number 3. I know angle Q. I know angle Q, but I don't know side Q. I know angle S, so that means this is side S, but I want to find X. But what do I do know? 37 and?
Oh, you did 54 plus, no, 180 minus.
Good. This is still a triangle. If I know 2 of the sides, I can still find the third. So let's do 180 minus 37 minus 54. And now I know angle R is 89 degrees. So this is 89 degrees. So if I'm going to set up a proportion, I'm going to use S, which is 54 and 8, and then R, which is 89, and X. I'm not going to use Q because I don't know anything about this. I'm not finding it. I don't know anything. So we're only using S and R. So let's set up our law of sines. Sine of 54. Doesn't matter if you want to put R first, it would work the same exact way. Sine of 54 over what? 8 is equal to sine of 89 over X. Yeah.
What do you get?
9.9?
Yeah, I got it.
Is that what y'all got? Good. I'm going to do one more, and then I'll release you to finish this in your homework. Okay? So, 31.
They have those ACT things on that.
I know 2, right? But I don't know this one, but can I find this one?
Yes,
180 minus 88 minus 31, and this tells me that this angle is 61. So I'm going to use angle N, and put it over side N, and I'm going to use angle M, and put it over X. So sine of 61 over 5.4 equals sine of 88 over X.
You get 6.2.
Plug it back in your calculator. Try it again.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Good.
6.2.
All right, if you got the right answer, I want you to do 5. It's an angle, so I want you to try to do 5. Because we've only done one angle.
I think I'm getting 61.7.
Did you?
Yeah. But the decimal is over.
Did you do 5.4
I think you rolled it.
sine of 88?
5.4.
Yeah, what were you typing in? 54?
54. My bad. Okay.
What'd you type in, AJ?
Hold on, no.
All right, I want to set up one more. I know I said that last time. But this one's an angle, and I want to make sure y'all are doing the inverse correctly.
Yeah, that sign and they would.
So, sine inverse. So I'm going to do 73, sine of 73 over 18.2, which equals sine of x over 10.5. Cross multiply. When you get to this point, and you have 10.5 sine of 73, 18.2 sine of x, go ahead and divide 18.2 to the other side. So this cancels, and you have 10.5 sine of 73 divided by 18.2.
Did you get 33.5?
So, what you have right here, you still have 0.5517, that's what all of this just reduced to be, equals sine of x. But remember, if you break sine and x, you have to do x equals sine inverse of this answer. If you're going to plug it in like that to your calculator, I've already simplified this and I still have 0.5517 here. Do second sine, and then you can plug these numbers back in, or you can press second answer in your calculator, press equals, and you should get 33.5. Now, I'm going to give you the answers to the rest of these and your homework problems because I want you to be able to check it and know you're doing it correctly. Because guess how much credit you get if all you have is the answer? None. None. Okay? I'm not going to check these last three. You need to do this, but I'm checking your homework. Okay? No, I'm about to give it to you. All right, so your answer to 6 should be x is equal to 5.8. 7 is x is equal to 7.2. 8 is x is equal to 10.8. And I'm going to put your homework answers on the board so that you can check them. You must show your work.